You're not gonna believe the feature that this builder did in this amazing floor plan we're about to check out. We're in one of Jacksonville's hottest and newest neighborhoods. So with that being said, let's get right into it and show you that feature plus everything else about this model home. So with this floor plan, as you'll see when we first come up, we have some nice, good size, French doors. We have a little bit of a space over here where you can hang out, put some chairs, as you can see. But overall, just really nice architectural design with how they did this. We give you that covered front porch. So that way when you come in, you're not, getting wet if it's raining when you're at the front door. Then we come into this amazing floor plan, and right away you're gonna see we have these luxury vinyl plank floors throughout the whole first floor. Really gives it, again, more of a luxurious feel because this vinyl nowadays really does, it's soft on the feet, it's very durable. It really does give it more of a high-end look than it used to, which is why a lot of the builders are now using it. Then we have our first part of the house, which is this designated office. So if you're someone who works from home or needs to have a designated office, this is a great spot to have it, a great floor plan to have it with, because of the fact that you do, have an area away from everything else for your office, and you still have the French doors, as you can see here, to give yourself privacy if you needed it as well. So I do like to see that. They do have the recessed lighting throughout with it too, so it gives you an idea of what you can do with this builder for this floor plan. And again, if you want to know more about this floor plan, this builder, this neighborhood we're at today, call, text, email me. It's gonna be on the screen. Always happy to help answer any questions you have about your thoughts and your questions when it comes to living in and moving to Jacksonville. Then, as we continue to the living and kitchen of the house, we have our designated dining room, the first dining room that is, of this floor plan. And as you can see here, this is a 6-seater table. Most likely could probably fit 8, but really 6 is probably the good amount, the right amount for it, unless you did more of a circular table, which then you probably could go bigger if you so desired. And as you can see, they still do have like a additional cabinetry over there. So it does give you an idea of just how much more you can fit in with it as well. Now, before we get to the living room, I do want to show you one more thing, which is going to be this closet underneath the stairs. Now, the reason I want to show you is just to show you the depth of it. Because again, when you're living here in Jacksonville, it's all about how can we get as much storage as possible. In this case, the builder did a great job of maximizing that storage with this house to give you as much as you could use or want or need. Because again, no matter how big the house is, we always find ways to fill it. So it's good to have as much storage space for when that time does come as possible. All right, now let's get to that kitchen and living room I was telling you about. Now with the kitchen and the living room, as you'll see here, it really opens up on you. And I love seeing that because when we first started with this walkthrough, it did feel maybe a little tight in some spots. So to have it open up like this is a good feeling. It's what you expect to see with a house of this size. It really gives you a nice entertaining space for you and your friends or your family to be able to hang out in on a day-to-day basis when they're visiting, wherever the case may be. But we're gonna start with the kitchen here. So the kitchen, as you'll notice, we have a huge island here. And the builder on this did a nice quartz countertop throughout. And with this island too, you do have your dishwasher in it. It is gonna also have power. And you do have a nice oversized deep sink here, not a farm sink. You have a nice oversized deep sink here to kind of finish it off. In addition, they did a 2-tone cabinet with this floor plan. So the cabinets on our island are gonna be more of that natural brown, something that we are seeing more and more of nowadays because builders are starting to kind of get away from the grays and go back to the browns. Whites are still super popular, but they're starting to incorporate the grays or the browns with it instead of the grays. Now this floor plan, this builder, they do have the Whirlpool package for their homes. So with this, you're gonna have the microwave oven combo. Most likely they do have an option that you could do a double oven if you wanted, but if you want to know more about that, you just got to reach out to me so we can dive into the floor plan itself. And then the exterior cabinets are going to be your white cabinets. And before we get there though, we do have a standard pantry here, nothing too crazy, but gets the job done. That's how I always look at it. But with the white cabinets, they definitely did more of a higher end look with them. Definitely goes a long ways. They did not do the soft close. Would have liked to see the soft close, but something you probably can do with the builder if you desired. And then we get to our vented hood and our gas range. Now, this is a gas community, which if you're watching this in your other parts of the country, you may be like, yeah, that makes sense, Justin. Well, here in Jacksonville, gas is not always a guarantee for most communities. Now, most new communities will have it, and this is a new community, but if you wanna know all the communities that do have it, because there's only so many of them, you gotta reach out to me so we can go over that as well. But this gas stovetop is a 5-burner stovetop. I do like the fact that they did do some additional pull-out drawers underneath it, just to give you additional space for pots, pans, whatever the case may be. And they did finish it off with a nice tile backsplash to kind of keep it nice, sleek, and elegant as well. Then we have our second dining room. So technically you can make this dining room the kids' table, you make the other dining room, you know, for the adults, so to speak, or vice versa. But it's really nice to have more of an eat-in dining room as well, separate from the main dining room. Because again, it allows you to use that one for more special occasions, and this one can be more of your day-to-day, you know, eating, if that's what you desire. In addition, because of how this builder did this little bay window setup over here, it does give us tons of natural light and more space. As you can see here, this is a 4-seater table, but you could probably make this a 6-seater very easily. So I do like when the builder does that, and it still is open to the living room and the kitchen, but it's also a little closed off, which I personally kind of like. And then lastly, we have our living room here. And the living room here does have the recessed lighting. It's a very good size overall. One thing I would love to have seen was a tray ceiling with it, but nevertheless, sometimes with 2-story houses, you just can't do it. But overall, it's a great size space, and I do love how it connects the kitchen and the dining room with it. Now over here is a really cool feature, especially if you do have someone that's a little bit older living with you. So let's get into that right now, as well as take a sneak peek or a quick peek at the backyard. With different floor plans, I do like when the builder gives us this ability to have a space for, you know, maybe like a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, but really just a separate space of the house to be able to give for someone where they don't have to deal with stairs, and they still have everything they need down here. So right away, as you can see, we have our first bathroom downstairs. So this is also going to double as the guest bathroom. And I do like the fact that the builder here did do the tile up to the ceiling to really finish that look. They also did the step down, so it keeps all the water in. And then they did also do the seamless glass to really finish it off as well. Now, a couple of things I would like to have seen. One, would have been nice to see like a little bit of an insert for your soaps, your shampoos. And number two, would have been cool to have a window in here, because it does get a little dark, but maybe you like that. And if that's the case, then this could be a great floor plan for you if the person who's gonna be downstairs likes that as well. And we do have our single vanity as well with the space. We have our AC closet, we have a small little linen closet, and then we have our first bedroom. Now this bedroom, as we come in, as you'll see, it's a really good size. We have our queen size bed here, really good size nightstands, and because of the window there, we do get some good natural light as well. So overall, really happy with the way that this feels, and the size of it is really good. In addition, we do have a standard size closet here. Now, one thing I would love to have seen is more of the sliding doors rather than the bifold doors. They do normally have a little bit less wear and tear, less issues over time, but nevertheless, still really good size space down here for, again, maybe like mother-in-law or maybe more of an adult child. They have their own space. So great to see that as well. And then we're gonna quickly kind of peek out here. As you can see with the backyard, just back to the preserve. And you do have this nice covered back porch as well, which does make a nice ability to be able to hang out, you know, during these summer days or during the winter if it's a little bit, you know, not too cold, but cooler out. And you could easily also put a screen up if you desired. And they do already have it ready to go for plumbing for a sink. And you will also have a gas hookup out there for your gas as well. So definitely, you know, if you're wanting to entertain, they'll have everything ready for you to do that as well. But now we get to go upstairs. And believe it or not, I believe there's more upstairs to go over and a lot more cool things upstairs than there was downstairs. So let's get into that right now. Now we are upstairs. And to be honest, like this is just kind of like the landing. I mean, the fact that you can have some seats up here and just be able to hang out and like sit down like I am right now, not many floor plans are gonna give you that in general, not just, you know, 2-story floor plans, but any floor plans like that in general to have something like this. So again, the stairwell right here, you come up, you have this nice large landing to be able to kind of get your, you know, collect yourself, especially if you have, you know, for furniture purposes, to be able to just come straight up and, you know, have some room to navigate. That makes it a lot easier, way less having to pivot, so to speak. But that being said, the first room we're gonna start off with, off of the landing, is our bonus room. So this bonus room, right off the bat, you have the French doors, but also what you're gonna see here is they actually pitched the roof in here up a little bit. And by pitching the roof up some like they did, it makes the space feel that much bigger, that much more open, and then combined with having multiple windows up here, gives you plenty of natural light and really does make it a great space to entertain. So that way, again, you know, you can make this a man cave, a she shed. This could be a place for the kids to have their friends hang out at while you're downstairs or vice versa. So again, it's a great way that this builder kind of gave you multiple entertaining spaces with the specific floor plan, which we will get to momentarily. In addition, this one has a half bath that was an option you can do for this floor plan. And this half bath just allows you to not have to go downstairs or use the other bathroom up here as well. So again, for how big of a space this is up here, in my opinion, getting this additional half bath goes a long way just to be able to provide more comfort to the occupants as well as, you know, friends or family that are visiting. So if it was me, that's an option I would highly consider with a floor plan like this. And that's the biggest thing, is that when you work with someone like me, that's something I always go over, is what can we do to maximize the home, not just for while you're living in it, but also for resale purposes as well. Then off of the landing as well, we do have our washer dryer right here. Very standard space. You know, most likely you can do some cabinetry up top if you so desire with the builder, or obviously after the fact. But overall, it gives you an idea of what you're working with up here. And it's nice that they put it upstairs with the majority of your bedrooms, which we're gonna get into right now. This is gonna be your first bedroom up here. And this bedroom is a very good size. And that's something I'm gonna be saying with most of them. But overall, as you can see here, this gives us a good size space, nice natural light, plenty of recessed lighting. You have your single nightstand, your queen size bed, your dresser, and your standard closet as well. So overall, as you can see, it does have quite a bit of space. You could easily put even a king size bed in here if you desired. Now again, it would fill up a lot more of the space, but this bedroom has enough space to be able to do just that. Then on the other side over here is going to be our other 2 bedrooms. So we're gonna start off with bed number 1 up here. I guess bed number 2 overall for up here that we've seen so far, bed number 3 for the floor plan. In this bedroom, you're gonna notice we have more closet space, good size room as well. And they designed this as more of a boys room, as you can tell, maybe a boys room, just has more, you know, maybe masculine color choices with some of the furniture pieces. But overall, as you can see, it's a great size space. And again, this is kind of a cool thing, just have a little hoop there. Now, granted, if you're downstairs, you're probably not gonna like that sound every so often, but gives you an idea of different things you can do with a floor plan with your house in general. Because again, part of this is to tell you more about the builders, the floor plans, the neighborhoods here in Jacksonville. But sometimes if you're just watching this, you're trying to think of things to do to your house, sometimes these can give you inspiration to do, such as that basketball hoop. Then over here, we do have our bathroom upstairs. This can be a double vanity, and then you have your shower tub combo. Because again, you need to have at least 1 tub with any house. And so this is gonna guarantee you have at least that 1 tub. And again, just like with the bathroom downstairs, they did tile up to the ceiling, which I do like to see because it does definitely complete the look. So overall, really good sized bathroom. I do like how deep it is as well, considering that this is gonna be really meant for, you know, the 3 bedrooms upstairs, which includes this 3rd bedroom. Now this bedroom is actually really cool. It has a feature that we don't see really almost at all. I mean, this is probably the only floor plan I've ever been that really has this, But right away, you can see it's a really good size space. You could easily do a queen size bed, maybe even a king size bed, but in this case, they did 2 single beds. You do still have all your recessed lighting up here, natural light with the window. But they have this little nook up here that would make a really cool book nook. It's a really cool space, maybe like for kids, you know, little man cave, so to speak, little sea shed. You know, give you some different ideas what you can do here. Obviously, you have the natural light with the windows, one showing you kind of the view, the other one, they do have the blinds down. But it's just kind of cool how it's elevated like that. So obviously it's a part of the room, but you almost feel like you're in your own little space as well. And then as far as for the closet for this one, we do get our first small little walk-in closet. And again, really good size space, closet-wise, for a additional bedroom that's not the primary. But the primary is the next place we're going to. So that's actually gonna be right over here through those French doors, which do add quite a bit of privacy as well. So let's go and check out the primary right now. All right, so with this primary bedroom, I love, you don't see it very often, I love these French doors coming into it. So you're gonna be shocked when you just see the size of this. But with these French doors, it opens up to your massive primary. I mean, this is by far one of the largest primary bedrooms that I have, you know, toured. And it's one of those things, some people may say, hey, this is just too big. What am I gonna do with all this space? But sometimes better to have it and not need it than to need and not have it, is what I always say. And in this case, they do have some seating over here on the one side. This could be like a little book nook or just like a little bit of a sitting area, depending on how you want to utilize it. They do have a singular dresser here. You could easily do 2 dressers or a bigger dresser. And you do have your king size bed here with nightstands, with the flanking windows to get that natural light. And as you can see, just like with the bonus room, they did bump the ceiling height in here as well a little bit to make it feel that much larger, even though if you ask me, they probably didn't need to, but I'm not complaining. Because again, these are things that when you're looking to move to Jacksonville, when you're looking to live in Jacksonville, you know, if primary bedroom size is important to you, this may be the floor plan for you. But you're not gonna know unless you reach out to me to learn more about it and just where it's located. Then we get to our primary bathroom. And with the primary, we're actually gonna do, before we go too much here, we're just gonna do a quick little detour. And kind of a cool aspect they did here is they did give us a nice sized linen closet off to the side, along with our water closet. So that way it's nice and hidden away from, you know, your shower, your tub, you know, your vanity. So that way it has almost its own little space. But as far as for the bathroom, plenty of natural light comes in with that transom window or that solid window. You do have a tub in here as well. So that is something too that if you're unsure of, you know, what would be in the primary, you do get a shower tub combo. And in the shower, even though you do the tub, the shower is a great size as well. So having the shower here, massive size, plenty of room in there. You know, because of the little ledge they have in there, you actually could put your soaps, your shampoos in here as well. You know, again, I would have liked to have seen somewhere in here as far as like a little nook for your soaps, but there is still a spot for them. And then just like I've been saying, they did go to the ceiling with this tile as well. And I kind of like that marble-ish look to the tile. It definitely does give it a nice feel. And the brown really kind of goes well with the floor tile as well. We do have our double vanity with this as well, which you would expect to have for a primary bathroom. And then we get our primary closet. So the primary closet is a great size. Would have loved to see some custom closets just to see what they could have done with the space, you know, as ideas. But with this size space, you can do a lot of different things with it. It all just comes down to what your wants and needs are and what your preferences is for your primary closet. But overall, I mean, that is something that I think is amazing with this floor plan is with the amount of space you get, and this is a very large house, as we'll go over in a little bit, you do get a lot of different things you can do with it. And that part I do really like. Because again, when you're living in Jacksonville, when you're moving to Jacksonville, it's all about figuring out, again, what floor plan makes the most sense for you, what neighborhood makes the most sense, and really just maybe why other people are choosing to move here, because it may be that for the same reasons that you're thinking about it yourself. So let's dive into that right now. So what did you think of this amazing floor plan today? Could you see yourself living in a home like this? You know, personally, maybe more than I need, but I do like the flow of it, and it's very uniquely different than most other floor plans that we do see here in Jacksonville. Because you know, when it comes to living in Jacksonville, you're gonna have tons of options to choose from. Whether if it's pre-existing homes or new construction homes, whether if it's a inventory home or building from the ground up. You know, you have a lot of different things to choose from and figure out when living here, including just where to live. Because you know, one thing about Jacksonville is we are a very large city. We are the largest city land-wise in the US, other than one in Alaska, but in the continental US, we're the largest. So what that means is it really takes having someone who's knowledgeable about the area to get an idea of what area makes the most sense for you and your family. You know, I had a client I was working with just recently, and for them it was very important to try to figure out where to end up. You know, they love new construction, but they actually love the feel of some of the older neighborhoods here in Jacksonville. So finding something that can kind of fit the best of both worlds is now their goal. But overall, when it comes to living here, the reason people do love this area is because the cost of living here is so much better than other major cities in Florida, such as Tampa, Miami, and Orlando. So your dollar does go a bit farther here. And so what that means is you have the ability to put more of it towards the house to get the best house you possibly can for you and your family. And in addition, people do like the fact that Jacksonville is so conveniently located due to our highways of I-95 running through the middle of Jacksonville and I-10 shooting you out west, that if you want to go to Orlando, you're 2.5 hours away. If you want to go to Savannah, you're 2 hours away. If you want to go to Tampa, 4, Miami, 5, and Atlanta, 6 hours away. So you're really not that far away if you want to make a weekend trip out of it or a short little vacation without having to fly anywhere, which becomes a big benefit. In addition, certain areas of Jacksonville, like where we're at today here in Silverleaf, have some of the best schools, not just in the area, but in the whole state of Florida, which becomes a huge attractor for people here to neighborhoods or communities like Silverleaf. So that becomes a big draw because of the fact that you no longer have to think about just private school, because the public schools here are just that good. And then when it comes to the amenities of a neighborhood like Silverleaf, you get top of the line amenities for a very reasonable price as far as from a monthly standpoint on your association fees. So overall, those amenities, whether it's the pools, whether it's the pickleball courts, the tennis courts, you know, whatever the case may be, you get a lot for what you're paying for. But what's really cool is a neighborhood like what we're in today will actually have its own private amenities separate from all of that. So you'll actually get to double dip and have your own, but also have the overall community of Silverleaf's amenities at your disposal as well. But as far as we're at today, we are in the Brook Forest neighborhood here in Silverleaf. And Brook Forest is going to be a gated community. It's a mix of single family homes, townhouses, and villas. And today we are actually in the Wellington floor plan, one of their most popular floor plans here in Silverleaf. And overall, this floor plan, it is a 5-bedroom floor plan, so plenty of space to roam. It's a 3-bath floor plan, but the ability to do a 3.5 like you saw today. And the square footage on it is actually pretty dang amazing. It's 3,518 square feet, so just a bit over that 3,500 range. And you truly do feel it as you're walking through this amazing house. Now this one is being built, this specific model, as a 2-car garage, but you actually even have the ability as another option to go to a 3-car garage if you need that extra space, because like I told you, when you have a house, you tend to fill it. So if you need that extra space, 3-car garage might make a lot of sense. But overall, Dreamfinders is the builder on this one, and Dreamfinders is actually a local builder. Funny enough, they're actually associated very closely as a sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, our local NFL football team. And overall, Dreamfinders does a very good job of giving you different options, whether if you're looking to build from the ground up, or and go through Design Center, or built by one of their inventory homes where their designers have already picked and choose everything out for you for the home. So that's a great ability to have different options to choose from if you decide that Silverleaf and Brook Forest is a neighborhood for you. Now, as far as the price of this house, the price is always subject to change, so do keep that in mind. But currently, this specific floor plan starts right around $600,000, which is an amazing price for the amount of space you get, if you ask me. In addition, they are offering different incentives depending on what routes you go, whether if it's a inventory home or if it's a built from the ground up home. And those incentives also are always subject to change, But if you buy with their inventory Wellingtons, they're actually offering to buy down the rate and pay your closing costs. All you have to do is use their preferred lender. So if you want to know exactly what that rate is or how much those concessions are to your closing costs right this minute, all you gotta do, you just gotta reach out to me. And again, the price, again, starting at that $600,000, it can go up depending on if you do, build from the ground up and you do a lot of design center finishes. But if you do that, one thing Dreamfinders does to help you with that is they do offer up some pretty good design center incentives to go towards picking some of the amazing finishes like the ones you saw today for your future house. So a lot of positivity to go from with that with them. But again, it's always subject to change. So if you want to know what they are right this second, call me, text me, email me. It's going to be on the screen or in the description of this video. You can find a link to my calendar where you can schedule time for us to meet face to face or through Zoom to go over any and all questions you have. And at the end of this video, there will be also, some other model home tours that we've done on this channel. So if you liked this one, definitely check those out as well. And if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys again on our next model home tour.